the R10 chair, who is chairing the IUV R10, Region 10 section. So she's unable to join today. She called me over phone just few minutes back and expressed her inability to join because there is a disruption of internet service in Bangladesh last few days due to some political condition. So she has also requested that as after it is disconnected again, in futures we'll be inviting her again for a special session. She has so I'm conveying to all invited speakers and all our attendees, and I'm sorry for that. Thank you. Please maintain quiet and silence. We need your cooperation. Okay, madam, you can start.
A very good afternoon to all. We welcome all the guests, the dignitaries, and our dear students, also the participants of this conference. Today, we are here to witness a momentous occasion, the inauguration of the Women in Engineering Raurkela Joint Affinity Group. We were expecting Dr. Celia Sanas, who's the IEEE WIE chairperson, but unfortunately, because of an internet outage, we haven't been able to connect to her. We have on the panel Dr. Sushmita Das, who's the chairperson of the WIE Raurkela Joint Affinity Group. And now I would hand over the microphone to her to say a few words.
Esteemed guest of today's WE event, a panel discussion organized in conjunction with the IEEE sponsored conference ICSPCRE 2024. It's a great honor and privilege in my part to welcome Professor Suparna Karachaudhary, Chair IEEE Kolkata section. Thank you, Madam, for giving your precious time for us and encouraging us, because our this affinity group, WE affinity group, is under the Kolkata section. I also welcome our industry experts, Ms. Tarannum from Microsoft India and Ms. Sunita John, Masswork India. I also welcome Dr. Atri, IIT Kharagpur. So these young professionals I invite to this forum. Further, I welcome our my colleague, Professor Deepti, Chair, IEEE Raurkela subsection, Professor Suchismita, my co-chair of WE Affinity Group, Professor Anvesha, member WE, and other members of WE community here. I also welcome all participants and attendees of the conference and member of WE group. So thank you all attendees for this session, for sparing your valuable time. So first of all, I will present a brief overview and highlight our goal of this joint affinity group. So as you know, Women in Engineering of IEEE is one of the largest international professional organizations which promotes women engineers, scientists, researchers, and also invite girls to take up STEM education. So this technical society is globally recognized and it is contributing to improve the diversity, equality and inclusiveness in STEM field and development of all young minds, young girls especially, in aligned with the objectives of STEM. So about the IEEE affinity group, we filed a petition and it got approved on February 4th, 2024. So the formation of Women in Engineering Affinity Group, Raurkela, under Raurkela subsection and also under the IEEE Kolkata section was approved. And we have almost 12 members from IEEE Raurkela subsection, and I have been recorded as affinity group chair for this session. And we have framed our execom already, and we have all active members in execom. So about our goals, our missions, I must mention here certain points. We want to mentor and promote women in leadership roles and career advancement for women in their profession. So that is a vital part because we want women professionals to come to break the glass barriers and come up in life and take leadership roles in technical education as well as organization as well as the tech industry. So we should provide relevant professional leadership development content And we plan for that various technical sessions, workshops, panel discussions, and especially we plan to have many creative and innovative methods like product design contests, technical writing contests, posters, hackathons, idea pitch, sharing the experience, success stories like that. So we'll try to provide opportunities for individuals, especially our girl students, to be connected with industries, companies for better recruitment, mentoring, through mentoring and networking. So we'll also communicate through distinguished lecture series. We'll communicate. Hello. Communicate global issues of importance to women in engineering through distinguished lecture series. Other goals also include will support activities and opportunities for our fellow members in different forums for better visibility and recognition. So we also plan to collaborate with other organizations, industries to develop best practices and strategies to promote STEM women in tech. Like that, we have several missions to achieve, and what we dream today, which will we hope that it will definitely come true in future, and more successful we professionals will be born. So success lies, yeah, in my opinion, always success lies with the teamwork. And I have supported with a great team to say. And I appreciate each and every member of my team for planning this event and supporting this event. I also appreciate the organizers and especially Professor Mona Lisa, Professor Anna, Professor P.K. Roy for giving us the opportunity to conduct this event in conjunction with the international conference of our organized in our department. It's a great opportunity indeed. So especially I thank all my members here, Suchismita, Anvesha, Dipti, then Prerana student members, Prerana Annapurna, and we hope to build up a great community at NIT Rourkela. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank all the invited speakers for sparing their valuable time. I now request Professor Dipti to say a few words and uh, uh, forward this event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Susmita. So it is definitely a great occasion. Welcome everybody to this forum. Professor Suparnakar Chaudhary from Kolkata, IEEE Chair, and Madam Tarannum from Microsoft, Madam Sunita John from MathWork, and Madam Atre Kundu from IIT Kharagpur. So welcome all guests and our delegates, our young faculty members, here all the organizers, students and staff members. I from IEEE Rourkela subsection as a chair, I welcome all of you. And we know that the goal of IEEE can be satisfied by the congregation of various activities and also cooperation and support of other advanced organizations, advanced institutions. So because this Rourkela subsection was set up, it was founded very recently. Actually, it was founded in only, got approved by IEEE MGA board in November 2020 only. So it is very in nascent stage, only 3.5-year old, our organization. But the geographic location of this subsection, it consists around 7 organizations, including our institute and also some nearby industry sectors, because Rourkela is is in an industry belt area, and we have several industry like our steel plant. We have various steel plants and also some other kind of small industries. So we are trying our best to keep our subsection always active with all these organizing various activities like various short-term courses, various conferences, international conferences. Though geographically the location is little bit difficult to organize various activities, still we are trying our best. And this in this conference where we are now getting an opportunity to meet this women in engineering session, this is on smart power control and renewable energy. Though we face very difficult, but because of hybrid mode, now it is possible to organize these big events at this forum. Uh, in our under this IEEE Rourkela subsection, we have started organizing many faculty development programs, skill development programs, workshops, many student activities like product development and its demonstration, and also these different sessions. We have started some proposal is also there to create an event like industry session where many industry people can come and interact with the various our faculty members or and our student members, and also with other delegates, and they can share their ideas. We have recently we have created two societies chapters, Signal Processing and Communication Society chapter and Power and Energy Society chapter. And as we know already, we have already created our IEEE Women in Engineering Joint Affinity Group under IEEE Kolkata section. So definitely we are encouraging women in engineering in every session. We always have a session in last 2-3 conferences, whatever we have organized, we have always a session regarding women in engineering, and we definitely create a forum how to encourage women in STEM, whatever Professor Das has already described about the goal of that group. So definitely I expect that this joint affinity group, Women in Engineering, will excel and create a positive atmosphere always in the society. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Das and Dr. Patra. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Suparna Kaur Choudhury, the chairperson, IEEE Kolkata section. She received the graduate degree in electrical engineering from Jadavpur University in 1987, the MTech degree in electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur in 1989, and the PhD degree in electrical engineering also from Jadavpur University in 2000. She started her career as an assistant professor at Jadavpur University in 1990, and she is currently working as a professor in the same institute with the Department of Electrical Engineering. Her current research interests include machine analysis and design. Professor Kaur Choudhury is a senior member of the IEEE Power and Energy Society and is currently the chair IEEE WIE Kolkata section. Personally speaking, it's a matter of great honor for me to be introducing Professor Kaur Choudhury, because I used to be her student way back in the early 2000s. And I remember she was one of the few female faculty in the department. Actually, Jadavpur University did have quite a number of female faculty at that point of time in the Department of Electrical Engineering. And somewhere in my subconscious, she has been one of the inspirations behind taking up a career in STEM. So thank you, ma'am, for being a part of this event. And now I would like to request Professor Kaur Choudhury to please give her inaugural address.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you are perfectly audible.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Actually, very good after. I am honored to be called for this panel discussion. I would be very happy if Professor Selina was here, but I knew that she will not be able to join because of the situation in Bangladesh. I have some occasions in Art meeting. I have met her, so I know her personally to some extent. Now, actually, what the questions, some questions were sent to me to discuss. The first one was that, can you tell us about your journey in STEM while balancing work-life commitments? Now, what happens actually before joining Jadavpur University, I had a very brief stint. I have for 1.5 years I was in the industry. That was also in a consulting firm. I was with Women the Student Company. Now that time I was not married, so I was. What I found there that I mean, understood that that was the first year because I am talking about some time more almost 40, 37, 38 years back. So that time, even though has taken was started checking women engineer. Our was the first batch in the electrical division, and the situation in the company was very comfortable, and they were very that the seniors were very careful about us. To some extent, I found that they were too much protective about the women engineers. But one side, because the school used to, though it is a consulting firm, more or less a desk job, but they used to take turnkey projects. That is up to the installation. They used to they start from the tender preparation up to the installation of the plant. So we have to go for tours. So once the first time when I was to go for the tour, our floor director, he was a very senior man. So he called me and told me, you see that there are too many, he told that in Bengali, if you understand the Bengali, you will understand the flavor of the talk, that he told that there are অনেক দুষ্টু লোক থাকে হোটেলে, জানো তো? That means that there can be bad men in the hotel, but the dushtu lok and bad men, the flavor is totally different. If you know the Bengali, you can understand that. So what you do after when you come back from the meeting, you will meet your seniors, stand at the door, then check the whole room that no one is there in your room. Then we will shut the door. If someone knocks at your door at the night, then you will first call your senior by the intercom, so that he will see who is there at your door. Then you only open the door. Anyway, that situation was very good. I had never faced any discrimination or anything there when for that 1.5 year. But I have heard one of my friends really had to face that sort of a situation. She was just 2 years my junior from our chemical engineering department. So what happens in the night? Someone knocks at her door. It was more than 10 after 10 p.m. So she was a bit afraid, and she really called her boss over the intercom, and he told her, no, I was not there. And what he found was very shocking. There was someone from the client side who was actually knocking at the door. So that sort of things do really happen. But somehow that now I think the situation is different because there are more women engineers in the frame. Now, after I joined Jadavpur University, as Professor Das told, that we have a number of quite a number of female faculties over there, and it is my alma mater. So really, I do not have to face any that sort of a problem. But what I found that after that I married and I had children. So being in Jadavpur University helped to some extent because my working hours were a bit flexible in the sense that being in the educational institute, uh, I can adjust my classes and other things uh, according to my need. And another way also, I was very fortunate that my mother-in-law was there at home, so I did not have to worry about my children. So for the women engineers or women, not the engineers only, women who are in working, that is professionals, where I think first of all the organization, if if the organization can offer us flexible working hours, that is an advantage. And if they have a family support is a very great help. So that is from my experience that I realized. So now about what is the situation in the industry, there are persons from experts from the industry in the panel, so they can say about it get more
Thank you,
definitely
madam.
can. So only I can say a few words about the female student count in the presence. Now in present, I am only talking about West Bengal because I do not have all the data over all over India. Now in West Bengal, in our time, there was only the government engineering colleges, four colleges. Now we have a number of private colleges. So there are total number of intake of engineering students has increased. So we can see that more number of women engineers also. But I really doubt whether the percentage of women engineer has increased. That I am talking about percentage. That is, what is the percentage of women in the engineering? Because if I see the number of female students, I am just talking of my department because that is the data which I know. It is exactly. So 1987, when I graduated, our student strength in electrical department was 100, and there were 12 students in our 12 female students in our class. And now at present we are going to have a NAG visit, so we are going through the data of the department. We were assembling the data, and we see, and I surprisingly see that our total student strength has increased quite a lot. Now our strength is approximately 150. That is the sanction strength. Number of students vary a bit, but the percentage of female students, unfortunately, it is less. Percentage of female students in all the 4 years are unfortunately less. In our time, my class I was talking about 12%. It is less than that. It is less than 10. So I really doubt whether total number of female students in the STEM might have increased because the total number of students has increased, but whether the percentage has increased or not. There are other person from IIT Kharagpur and persons from industry. They can, I think, they can shed some light on my doubts. So in general, I can say that if we have some flexible work hours, now after COVID, some of the companies are offering work from home. That might be some advantage. The young mothers can say whether that is an advantage or disadvantage. And one thing is that we can if some sort of social support we have, because not only the family, in the society, if we have some support for the child care and other things, that will help. So that is anything if you want to know, I can. That is all I have to.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your valuable input. So to continue this panel discussion, now I'm excited to be the moderator of this panel discussion on the stay moment in tech breaking barriers. So coming to our next speaker, Madam Sunita John, who is the Marketing Program Support Manager at MathWorks India Private Limited. So I welcome you, ma'am, for this panel discussion. And to start with, can I have the question, know the answer of this question, your journey in STEM while balancing the work-life commitments? Your view, please, ma'am.
Thank you for the question. Honorable chairpersons, my esteemed co-panelists, and the respected moderators, all my dear friends and invitees. This is indeed a subject that is very close to my heart. And it is because during my career span of 20 to 25 years in the IT industry, in the technology industry, I have faced a lot of challenges, and it has been a mixture of being challenging and rewarding both. And I have found that during my personal journey, I have two requirements. One is I need to have a lot of confidence in ourselves to break the internal barriers. And the other is the external barriers that we are all, like our dear chairperson said earlier, very well aware of: the glass ceiling, the male bastion that we work in, the support that we need from our external environment. All of that are the external barriers. So you have two sorts of barriers, and that's what I face: the internal barrier, the one of self-doubt and fear. So we are not so much confident about ourselves as I see so many of our male colleagues are. Okay, so that's something that we need to break out of. So I remember in my times, multiple times, I've been afraid to speak up in meetings where I may be the only lady on the conference table. Okay, and then you start self-doubting. Is the beautiful idea that I have, how will that be received? So there's something that inside us should inspire us to break that internal barrier. And that's how I managed my career. And along with that is support of my family. Okay, so that's really required. Otherwise, you could have a burnout. Okay, because you're stretching yourself too thin. There's a lot to do when you're juggling a career and a family. I myself, I was telling Professor, my dear friend and college mate, Professor Suchismita, I have taken a 6-year break from work to raise a family and then returned to the industry. That posed another set of challenges. It's difficult to come back after a break, but the thing is, have a lot of confidence. And I have taken also my father, who had a 30-year career in SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited, as my role model, who always never, uh, has always been an inspiration to both me and my sister to make our, careers out there and to storm male bastions. Thank you so much. I give it over back to you, dear moderator.
Thank you, ma'am. To continue with this, can I have one more question on this? A break of 6 years was, and coming back to career is an amazing thing that you have done. Can you please let us know what made you so motivated to come back to this career after a break of 6 years, and what was the initial challenges that you faced for this?
Thank you, dear moderator and friends. So, yes, so multiple things. The leading one being that there was an economic necessity that I come back, that I also financially support my family. That was perhaps the leading thing. The second thing was that I had to come out of that shell, which you get into when you become a homemaker, and you have to come out of that. So for that, I went through multiple, you can say, inspiring stories of women who have broken such barriers. I think the most inspiring stories are of women astronauts, right? If you look at someone like Kalpana Chawla or Sunita Williams, so they are like people who have, these are like pure male, dominated, high tech, you say rocket science, right? Industries. So something like that really, pushes that button in you that if they could achieve so much, why can't I do my best and, go out there and fight my battle? Okay, so that's one thing that kind of spurred me on. And I managed to, with that strength that I got from, the aspiring women in such careers like Madame Curie, also, who's so famous in her discovery of radium at the risk of her own life. These are women, and you watch these inspiring movies and read books. And self help books have been really, by Robin Sharma, all of those people have really spurred on my, internal strength and career in a way. And that's what caused me to emerge from that shell with high confidence. And initially, when I stepped into the industry, the thing is that everyone tends to judge you because you have come from a break. And I had to upskill myself. I took courses in asset tech and in NIT, all of those to bring myself up to par, and all that with raising a family with two small children. So you know how difficult that can be. Each of you all have fought your own big battles out there, and that's what I faced. But eventually, with your own self confidence, with support of your family, and also ensuring that you don't burn out. So please make time for your self well being. You need to do that. So, yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. This was truly motivating for all our young researchers, the women researchers who have joined online and offline. They might be at some point of time, they might be thinking to give up their career, but it's never the end of anything. So they can again start, they can again rethink to start the career. It's really, you are such an inspiring lady for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
one more thing, I have gone through the blog that you have shared. So yoga is one of your habit that you spend some time every day. Does that really help for the woman to in developing the career or the personal life? Can you please say a few lines on that?
Definitely. It's one of the greatest gifts our country has given to the world, yoga. I believe in that. And I taught myself yoga at the age of maybe 16 years or so. And I've not given up on it. Though I took breaks in between when you're expecting and you're, very high strung for time. But always keep that as a priority. And I found that yoga has a very profound effect in both your mental well being and in your physical well being as well. Okay, so in your mental well being, when you're stressed and you have a lot of things to manage, yoga helps you through meditation, where it helps you get away from those, pressing needs that you have every day, helps you have enough peace of mind to prioritize your activities and in your time management, both of those. And also the hatha yoga, which I practice every day as far as possible, definitely at least 5 times a week, is the purpose is to stretch yourself, and when we stretch ourselves is when we are releasing energy. And all of us, I understand, whether we be young or old, our current lifestyles are such that we are being, we do not go out much like we used to when we were young. You go out shopping, now there's Amazon, you just tap a few keys on your phone and things are at your doorstep. So our lifestyle is such as not to encourage much movement, right? So that's something that we'll have to really fight against. That's not something that's actually in some ways not very advantageous for us. We'll have to make a conscious effort to move around, to give our bodies the exercise that it needs. And yoga provides me with just that. And accompanied with that is my daily walk to of about an hour, at least 5 times a week again. So both of these go hand in hand. And please, I urge you strongly to take care of yourself, both in the physical sense and also for your mental well-being. Both are equally important these days of a high stress environment. Thank you,
Thank you.
madam.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll get back to you soon. So now to continue with the discussion, we have our next panelist, Madam Tarannum. And I'm proud to say that she is one of our alumnus of year 2012 in computer science department. She is working in the Microsoft for last 12 years in the domain of cloud computing and big data. She has the subject matter expertise in data science, the extensive work on the Azure Synapse and the Azure Databricks. She has participated in the Grace Hopper Conference in 2023 as well. Now, Madam Taranum, can we know about your journey in the STEM while balancing your work-life commitments?
Sure. Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. It's really a pleasure for me to come back to this institute once again, and I really feel nostalgic being here talking to all of you. Uh, a very good afternoon to all of you who are listening here. I would like to share my personal journey. I think just from NIT Rourkela, I got placed in Microsoft from campus itself. And that's when I was very shy, very introvert person, and I was a bit doubtful on how will I fit into this industry. And I was really doubtful on how long will I be able to carry on here. And I used to, we actually have some events in Microsoft where the 5 year, 10-year completion in the Microsoft journey is a very, very big milestone. And it's celebrated across. So whenever the town hall meetings used to happen and I used to see people with 5 year Microsoft Crystal, 10-year Microsoft Crystal, I used to just feel, oh wow, this is such a good thing. Will I be able to withstand here? But I had a very big confusion because I was not sure whether I will be. And my then manager was Simran Kaur Chadda, and she was really a role model for me. She was a mother of two kids, and I used to see how gracefully she used to handle everything, all the talks, talking to the team members, or be it going through any challenging work pressure or stress. So I went up to her one day and I asked her, how do you manage like work and life? How do you manage this? You have two kids, that two small kids. I never see you stressed. I never see you like it's very tough or something like this. How do you do that? And she gave an answer that has a very big imprint on my life as well as journey. And I really took her answer as a inspiration to me. And the answer was a simple sentence. She told, I do because I want to do. And that's the only thing she told. And this sentence is really, really amazing if we think. I went back and I thought, it's such a true thing, right? If we want to do something, we will try to overcome all the barriers in life. We will give our 100%, 200%, just because we want to do it. And no one is forcing us to do it. So it's very important for all the girls to actually think on what they want to do. If you want to do if you want to do something, nothing will ever stop you. And that day is what I sat and I thought, do I want to do this? And I the answer that came from myself was, yes, I want to do it. Although there were a lot of stages in my life where I felt that I should take a step back. When my first kid was born, and I had a different family issue that my husband stayed in a different city. I got married in 2015. I was staying in Hyderabad, and my husband was in Nagpur. So we were in two different geographical locations for nearly 5 years. And then when my first child was born, that came as a question to me. What should I do? Should I give more importance to my life, or should I give more importance to my work? That time I was a bit clueless. There will be stages when these questions will come up. So, and then the thing I did was I talked to my family. I was like, I'm unsure, what should I do? Because I neither want my husband to come, leave his job and come and stay in Hyderabad. And at the same time, I also wanted that I should be working. I wanted to work, really, I wanted to work. So I was a bit clueless. That's when, yeah, my husband also supported, let's figure it out. Let's drop this thing for now. We will figure it out as the time comes. Then I took a maternity leave break. I extended it by 3 more months for unpaid leave, just to make sure that I have enough time to think, yes, what I'll do next. When the leaves were coming to an end, I was at my parents' place. And then my father told, when is your leave ending? And I was like, in the month of March, it will end. So he was like, what's your plan? So I told, I don't know. I'm just clueless. I don't know what to do. So he told, don't worry, your mom will come. She will stay with you. She'll take care of the baby and you go to work. And I was just taken aback. I was like, oh my God, now I'm thinking of what should I do? And my family is there to support me. So why do I have to worry? Why do I have to think what should I do when there is a big, big support behind me why should I worry at all? And that's when I realized that, oh, this is the thing I really, really want to do. When I have the support, when I have a husband who understands that I should be doing, he's not calling me that, oh, my, don't take away my child, get it to me, or come and stay here. When he's not saying that, when my parents are not saying that, what the other world says is just immaterial. So it's what you think. And when you are confused, talk to your family, talk to people, talk to friends, so that you get more solutions. So that's how in 2017 I joined back after a long maternity leave. And but again, it was still not a solution to it. So I continued. I used to take frequent work from homes, but it was like once in a month, 5 days in a month. I used to come back. I used to come to Nagpur, stay some time with my husband, and go back again with a small child. And then slowly, again, these questions used to come. For how long will we do like this? For how long will we be shuttling between two cities? But we were like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's see. And sometimes, when I used to come to my husband's place, there were like neighbors used to come and say, why do you leave your husband alone? Why are you so much into your job that why are you not even caring about him? And sometimes these questions comes, right? And then you might feel upset. But then at the end, when I went back and my husband was like, why do you care about them? If someone is saying, let them say. What matters is what you are thinking first. And next, what your family is there for you or not, right? What the other world says or what the people around you say will affect you for some hours or for a day. But if you look back, like if I look back now, I was like, oh my God, it was foolish for me to think even for a second about that, right? Because at the end, when you have crossed some days, when you have crossed few months, when you've crossed few years, those will be just immaterial. And had I taken a step that I would have quit or done something, today my life would have been very, I'm a person who cannot just stay at home. Like it's a very tough for me. I really can't do that. I can work extra. I can like do sleepless nights. I can work, but I cannot stay. So had I taken a decision then that let me leave it, or because I'm not able to, juggle now, I'm not able to struggle now, or I don't have that inner peace. If I would have taken that decision, that would have been a, very regretful thing for me. So that's one thing that I learned. With time also we learn a lot of things, and I learned that yes, it's actually, we need to embrace that it's okay to not do all the things, right? As a woman, generally, since older generations, it's been told that women should actually look to the family first, and then they tend to put themselves at the back, right? This is something that has been changing, and we should not go by that. We need to put ourselves first so that we can take care of ourselves better, to make sure our family is more good shape, right? If we are in a good shape, if we are mentally sound, if we are taking care of our mental health, that's when we'll be able to take care of our families or help others, right? So it's very important to actually give time to yourself, to actually do what we want to do first, so that the people who are around us will also be happy, because once we are happy, we'll be able to take care of others. So that's one thing I learned, and I really want everyone also to think about their life and what actually they want to do in future. We need to be very clear with what our ambitions are, and once we are clear, the life is, or the path is really easy. Once our mind is clear, I think it's just a cakewalk after that. Although there will be challenges, there will be things when we might have questions in mind, but we need to look here and there to find the answers, is what I feel. And the way I try to make it easy is by prioritizing. It's really important to prioritize. There are hundreds of things that comes in a woman's life to do. For example, I don't pack my kids snacks. I don't do that. Sometimes I feel why I don't do, but I want to do other things. I want to spend time with them. My mom-in-law is a really good support for me. She does it. She wakes up early morning. She packs the snacks box for kids and all. Sometimes there are days when I don't know what they have taken for snacks. And when other parents, other women say that, oh, I cook this, I cook that. At times I feel, oh, why am I not cooking? But then I say to myself, is it what I do want to do in my life? Or I would better prefer spending 1 hour sitting with them, playing with them, talking to them, rather than, making myself overburdened by cooking and then going to work and doing everything. So it's really okay if you're not doing everything in life. You need to prioritize what you want to do. So that's a habit that I have made. Every morning I make notes that yes, these are the things I want to do today. So it's a more about balance, right? There are times when your work cannot stay without you. There are times when kids need you very much, right? Because for the kids, we are like the whole world to them. So we need to basically find how we balance, how we prioritize, and determination and the willpower is what makes us move forward. Yeah, I think I've spoken a lot. Yeah, but yeah, that's all about my journey. And yeah, since COVID started, things became very smooth for me as I got permanent work from home option. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. We must appreciate for your decision that you have taken in the right time so that you are still there in Microsoft. And we understand that what you have said, that if someone wants to do something, definitely he or she can do that. And this is, I think, one of the very impactful takeaway from many of the women researchers present in this forum. They can, if they want to do something, they will definitely do that. Thank you. I'll get back to you for some other questions. Now, coming to our next panelist, we have Professor Kundu with us. She is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering in IIT Kharagpur. She is a recipient of the DST Inspire Faculty Fellow and many more awards. I welcome you, madam, for to this panel discussion, and would like to know about your journey in STEM while balancing your work-life commitments.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it's a great honor and pleasure to be here. So I think I must start by mentioning that my journey in STEM was not very well planned. So for a long time in my school days, I actually wanted to study English literature. But then at some point, as I grew up, I realized probably I like mathematics more than literature. And that's how I came into STEM. So now these days I do a little bit of control theory research, which is a branch of applied mathematics. So similarly, with the choice of study, I also didn't realize that there would be something called work-life balance, which is a very difficult thing for a long time. Because in school and in college, we would have a fixed hour of studies. Maybe for 15 minutes in a day, uh, I was allowed to watch cartoons, and then we would have time for fixed hours for dinner, fixed hours for going to the playground, and so on. But when I went for my PhD to IIT Bombay, that's when I realized that work life balance is something. So, for instance, we would have holidays when my parents would be expecting me to be at home for some festival, but then I would have a paper submission deadline, and it would be very difficult to decide whether I want to be in the lab or I want to come back to my home in Kolkata. Now, these days, it's a similar situation, whether every weekend I want to go to Kolkata or my students would need me for a deadline or some discussions. So, what I do, how I look at work life balance is the following: I try to prioritize things based on the necessity. What is the demand of my work and what is the demand of my life at that point? So, for instance, this weekend I am working in my lab because we have a submission deadline next week. But so my parents are definitely missing me back at home in Kolkata. But then next week, I would definitely take 2 days break to compensate for the time that I didn't spend with them. So, having said that, of course, you need a great support system to implement this algorithm, which fortunately I have had from my parents and my extended family now. So, that is what I do to balance work and life. And as long as I am concerned, I feel that many women think that, okay, I am not able to do justice to my work because I have a family, or I am not doing justice to my family because I have to work. And then when you make one choice, we see that perhaps society has a lot of role to play here, but work always becomes optional. But if we can try to come out of this psychological barrier and think that both work and family or life make us what we are together. So both are important, both are parts of our life, and both of them together make what we are. Then a lot of us can probably overcome this problem. So, for instance, every year I make it a point that I travel somewhere during the vacations uh, without compromising the work. So I think we can do these short steps or small initiatives to make sure that work and life are balanced. And if you look at it in earlier days, when women went to study to the university, there were, or probably they went to a workplace, there were very few of them, and it was probably even difficult to get a women's restroom, which is not the situation now, right? So we have progressed a lot in terms of thinking. Of course, there are many barriers. Sometimes when I have to travel for a conference, I am scared of taking a cab alone in an unknown city. All these barriers still do exist, but I think we are in a much better condition than before. So, for instance, if I do not have the time to wash dishes every day, thanks to STEM, and if I can afford it, I can probably go for a dishwasher, right? So, I think it's all about making an optimal choice based on what your situation is. But we should not forget that both work and life are equally important for us. And if we love work, then I think, as Tarannum ma'am has also suggested, if we think we can do something, we will always be able to do it. So yes, that's how I balance my life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So now coming to the next question, I'll request all the panelists to shorten their views so that we can fit the questions with our stipulated time. So I'll come back to Ma'am Suparnakar again to know about the how the organizations can generate a more inclusive environment for help the women overcome the challenges they encounter in a professional environment. Your view, please, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please unmute? Ma'am, please unmute your audio. Please unmute your audio, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a mic symbol will be there. Just click on that. There will be a mic symbol, ma'am. Next to the camera, next to the camera. Ma'am, you have a key CTRL control and then the space bar. If you can click the control and press the space bar, I think that will work. Control and space bar. Yes, it's done, ma'am. Oh, again, ma'am, again got muted. Please do that again. Control and space bar. Yes, no. Just control and space. Yeah, leave it now, ma'am. Yes, please.
Okay. Actually, I was not in the industry for a very long time, but there are friends who are in the industry. I found that for the there in a life of any when you are have young children, so there is a need for some time for adjustment. So in that time for initial years, if in the institute or industry can provide a flexible work hour, that might help. Or sometimes some as one of the panelists has said that she has taken a sabbatical for 6 years. If that is someone's personal choice, but if that is allowed, that also is helpful. And one thing what I personally feel is that family support is very much important. And family support, because now it is developing, but in our country still the social security and other things are not that developed. So the family support, and if some flexible work hours we can have, then it will be helpful for the young professionals, young female professionals in the industry.
Now, coming to Madam Sunita, ma'am, can we know your view on this? How the organization can generate an inclusive environment? Because I understand you have worked on this, so I think you can have a better view on this. Please, to
Yes,
help the women overcome the challenges they face in the professional environment.
sure. So one thing is, madam, is that the organization should provide women with a clear path for their career progression. Okay, help them in all ways. There should be no bias. It should be an inclusive culture at work. They should be supported and encouraged. They should have male allies and male colleagues who support them. They should not be, maybe victimized in any way, through harassment or something like that. Okay, so they should have good laws in place to avoid such unsupportive environments. And also, organizations, I have seen this, they should actively promote women into leadership positions. So this is something I've been in the IT industry all the time, and I've seen so many times that there are situations in which male colleagues have been promoted, though they have equally capable, female counterparts. Okay, peers. So they have been bypassed for promotion, and it could be one of the reasons are that there is some gender bias there. So organizations should, strictly discourage that. So that's something that should be kept in mind, ma'am. And a supportive environment for women to, clearly progress in their career path within the organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your view. Now, Madam Taranam, can we know your view on this?
Sure, sure. So I basically have 5 points here. First is the policies can be made better for the organizations, like flexible work hours or work from home policies, leaves like caregiving leaves, where the care can be given for the kids or the elderly people. Second is through trainings. There can be trainings for unconscious biasness, for inclusive work environment that will not include only females but as well as male counterparts, so that every one of us are equal and every one of us realize that there is some unconscious bias that remains in the environment, and we need to overcome that in every way. So those are the things that will help, and some mentorship programs for the female employees, so that they can know what they are planning to do, or they can get the required advices at whatever point of time they need. Also, diversity and inclusion can be made as a core commitment for the leaders. So the leaders can be held accountable for making sure that the environment is diverse and inclusive, and that can be done by performance reviews for the leaders as well, so that the whole environment is safe, the whole team is safe. And lastly, I would say celebrate and showcase. Like, we need to help the women realize that there is a sense of belongingness and recognition for all the women employees also. So they, especially in Microsoft, what we have is 1 month we dedicate for women, where all the activities are, organized for women, so that they feel more inclusive, more protected, and more, like a sense of recognition. So yeah, these are the things that I feel that the organizations should imbibe to help women.
Definitely, definitely, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Over to Professor Kundu now for your view, ma'am.
Yes, so I think the very important point is that we should have more women in the administration. So I must clarify that because I haven't worked in the industry ever, I am considering the word organization as both academia and industry. So probably my viewpoints would be more relevant to academia. So if we see more women in power to lead and to make decisions, that is a very inspiring thing for us. Also, for instance, if you look at from a student's perspective, when I go to a class of 200 students, I would probably find only 40 girls and rest are all boys. So if I'm picking a class representative, it's with a very high probability that if I'm choosing one person, it would be a boy. So I think it makes sense that you make all these selections and in a higher stage, the committees gender inclusive. So, for instance, the class representative, you can ensure that there are two representatives, one boy and one girl. Similarly, if the committees also are more inclusive of women, so it's not only from the perspective of gender equality, but if you look at situations in many places that we read, often women may be facing harassment at certain levels, but then they are not able to say that because the person that she is supposed to report to is not a woman. So I think that shouldn't happen, right? So one way that organizations can consider making ensuring gender equality or making things inclusive of women is that to provide power to women to lead and to make important decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So we are glad that we have, I mean, the members are balanced. I mean, the number of members are, I mean, both from academia and industry. So your views are really, I mean, so much of knowledge, and it has so much of informative that we get the information both from the academic side as well as from the industry side. Now, in addition to the our panelists, we have two women professors, senior professors with us. So I cannot, I mean, skip this opportunity to know about their view on this. So my question only for Professor Das about this, how the organizations can generate a more inclusive environment so that the women can overcome the challenges. I think ma'am can say better from her experience. Ma'am, over to you, please.
Thank you, Suchesmita. So this is a very pertinent discussion, and we had views from senior people and junior people, junior women professionals as well. So how they manage to go up the ladder in life. So first of all, work-life balance. I must admit that this is a very pertinent point and very important point, and we have to decide that prioritize our work. So various phases of life we go through. So for my from yesterday various events or in the past where I was in the administrative community, heading the institute in some committees as well, and in administrative position. So there is a lot of challenge. Being a woman, I faced a lot of challenge, and because you are more, being a woman, you are more watched upon by your peers always. If you do good things, people will say, okay, she could manage. If you do bad things, you are ridiculed all the time because he could not handle because you are a woman. So this I have faced many times to say. But being firm in your decision, adhering to rules, and prioritizing your work. And you should behave respectfully with all your colleagues. So these are the mantras you can say, which I administered in my life to come up in many situations. And that has really helped me. So I was, this actually, I got the confidence because in 1985, when I joined BTech in electrical engineering, I was the only girl student amongst a group of 120. So you people can imagine what was my plight that time. So those 4 years were very beginning, initial phases of a professional life. And those confidence, that has boosted my confidence to face the world. You can say that was man's world that time, but we can say it is everybody's world now. Tech field, STEM field, it is everybody's field now. So we have equal right to be a top leader, be a top researcher, be a top technocrat. So I would say all the participants here must have got a lot of takeaways from our panelists. So it was a serious discussion when we decided the theme. Several times we pondered what should be the theme for panel discussion. And I think after hearing this panel, I remark here that it's justified, quite justified. So thank you all my team members for that. So that's all. Thank you all.
Ma'am, we'd like to know your view for the how the organization can generate a more inclusive environment.
So, fortunately, I was heading a group that was called Gati Self-Assessment Team of NIT Rourkela. And Gati means Gender Advancement in Transforming Institutions. So it was an initiative taken by Government of India, and we had on behalf of our institute, we had submitted a proposal how our institute can be gender inclusive in every aspect. Regarding that, we got an approval from the Government of India, and we were giving some fund to do some activities for gender inclusiveness, and I was heading that group, and also Suchismita Chinara madam was also one of the member in that group, and we had done lot of activities regarding we have taken women leaders, and we had invited many women leaders also for many courses, and we had organized only courses taking women scientists in STEM area only. So it was a very good opportunity at that time to work in this direction. And we had also given some proposal to our higher authority, how our institute can grow in this regard. So we have little bit better environment at our institute. That's why we haven't felt much difficulties in that environment is little bit inclusive, starting from employees and starting from your students and any committees. So we had also some more number of women deans, women HODs, but sometimes we feel that a little more can be included in this direction. So I hope that gradually we'll work in that direction, and we as senior faculty members in our institution, we can give some proposal regarding that, and we can contribute in that direction. Let us hope for the best. And as all the panelists, they have already given their various very good ideas and how to keep our balance work and life, both work and profession and your family. All can be balanced. We know as a woman, every day we face some challenge at home, some challenge at our profession, and we always balance with a positive spirit only. That's the thing. Always we keep up our spirit always high. Yes, I can do it. I want to do it. Just like Tarannam madam told. Yes, if you want to do it, you can do it. That's all. So I really got inspired by all of you, and thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. I have a quick question for Madam Sunita because she has a rich experience in the industry. Ma'am, do you think that the presence of more women in STEM would benefit the industry as well as the society in long run?
Definitely, madam. So women, I think they bring a very unique perspective and problem-solving approach. Okay, so that's very unique to them. And combined with the things like multitasking, a lot of effective and inclusive solutions they bring. And I feel inclusion of women from the STEM fields can also significantly boost the economic growth of the country. And as you all know, there is always a demand for skilled professionals in STEM, right? So encouraging more women to enter these areas will help address that skill shortage that we have in our country and for our industries. And I feel that the presence of women, also serves as a role model for other women to look up to them and to get, confidence to be successful themselves and to bring more initiatives and creativity into the STEM field. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, Professor Kar, having you have a long experience in the academics, ma'am, your view on this. Do you think that the presence of more women in STEM would benefit the academia as well as the society in long run?
Yes, obviously in the long run it will help the society because the the female students who are not entering STEM might have some. Might be a few of them who has inclination for these streams, but still we have some stereotypes in our society. So if they are encouraged, they will in the long run help the economy, help the society. So actually, I think that when we parents actually force the our children to take some subjects what we think they want, but actually we should give them more options that they should be allowed to study what they want or what they like to study. So the persons who have inclination to STEM, so they should be encouraged, but we should not put someone into this because who they say wants to go study literature. We should not push he or she him or her into STEM. We should give more option to the youngsters so that they can pursue their goals or pursue their dreams. That will help the society in long run.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'm glad that I moderated the panel where we heard from some incredible women who are working in the STEM domain. And we are glad that they have succeeded in their life with challenges, hurdles, and the willpower. As Taranam madam has said that if someone wants to do, she can do that. And with many takeaways and the advices that he have given, the panel has given, I'm sure the participants in this forum, the young researchers, the women researchers, and the participants from the industry who are here in this panel must have taken some takeaway from the panel discussion. I must thank you all the panelists here for your valuable time and for keeping our invitation. And also I thank the members here. I thank Professor Das, I thank Professor Patra and Madam Mona Lisa and Madam Anvesa for the cooperation and for advising, guiding us to have this panel discussion. And also I thank Prerna and Napurna for this. Thank you, Madam. And we'll look forward for your cooperation and your time in future as well for many more such women-oriented programs. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for having us. All the very best for your joint affinity group.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. all our invited speakers on the panel. We had a very fruitful panel discussion, and hope our participants, all young people here, all young girls here in STEM, must have been highly benefited through this discussion. Thank you for sparing all invited guests for sparing their valuable time. So hope we'll have many more such sessions in future. We'll plan for it. Thank you so much.
And a big thank to Professor Chinnara for moderating this program very nicely.
Thank you so much. Looking
you.
forward.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Congratulations, madam.
Congratulations.
ଆପଣଙ୍କର
Very nice.